Stop scrolling. Look at your bank account. Really look at it. You are selling the best years of your life for less than your boss spends on lunch. And the worst part, you already know this job is slowly killing your ambition. Every morning feels heavier. Every Monday feels personal. And every paycheck feels too small to justify the stress. But here's the truth nobody tells you. You do not escape a bad job by quitting emotionally. You escape by building a launch pad before you jump. In the next few minutes, you'll learn exactly 3 things. First, why most people stay trapped in jobs they hate for decades. Second, the hidden systems smart people use to escape safely. And third, how to build a personal launchpad that gives you freedom without risking everything. Because the goal is not to work less. The goal is to stop living under someone else's control. Part 1, the invisible cage. Most people think they're stuck because of money. That's not true. They're stuck because of fear disguised as responsibility. Think about it. Every year, millions of people wake up exhausted, drive to jobs they hate, work for people they don't respect, then come home too drained to build anything better, and eventually they start calling survival stability. That's the trap. A bad boss can control your schedule, your income, your confidence, even your identity. Over time, something dangerous happens. You stop believing you can leave, not because you physically can't, but because mentally you've accepted the cage. And here's what makes it worse. Most bosses don't actually want leaders. They want obedient workers. Workers who stay predictable. Workers who don't ask questions. Workers who trade creativity for comfort. Because the moment you become financially independent, you become impossible to control. That's why people who escape the system think differently. They stop asking, how do I survive this job? And start asking, how do I replace this income? That single question changes everything. Because now your brain stops focusing on pain and starts searching for exits. And once a person sees an exit, the cage never feels the same again. Part 2, why most people never escape. Here's the hard truth. Most people never leave jobs they hate because they wait for motivation. Motivation is unreliable. Some mornings you feel unstoppable. Other mornings you feel broken. That's normal. Freedom is not built on motivation. It's built on systems. Look at people who successfully escaped terrible jobs. Most of them did not suddenly quit one dramatic morning. Instead, they quietly built skills after work. They learned how money works. They started small side incomes. They sacrificed comfort temporarily for freedom permanently. While everyone else watched Netflix, they built leverage. And leverage changes your life. Because when you depend on one paycheck, you are vulnerable. But when money starts coming from multiple directions, your confidence changes. You speak differently. You think differently. You walk differently. Why? Because fear loses power when survival no longer depends on one person's approval. That's why your first goal is not becoming rich. Your first goal is becoming difficult to control. And there's a huge difference between those two things. Most people chase luxury too early. Smart people chase independence first, because independence creates options, and options create power. Part 3. The Launchpad Mindset. A launchpad is simple. It's the thing you build quietly while your current job pays the bills. That's it. Your job becomes fuel, not your future. This mindset changes everything emotionally, because now your boss is no longer the center of your life. They become temporary. That alone reduces stress massively. A lot of people fail because they try escaping emotionally. They rage quit, burn bridges, make reckless decisions. Then panic hits, bills arrive, pressure increases, and they return to another terrible job even faster. That's not freedom. That's desperation. A launchpad prevents desperation because instead of jumping blindly, you build slowly and strategically. Think of it like building a second floor before leaving the first one. This is where patience becomes powerful. The internet tricks people into thinking success happens overnight. It doesn't. Most successful people spent years invisible before anyone noticed them. Years learning, years failing, years building skills nobody applauded. But eventually, Momentum appeared, and once momentum starts, everything accelerates. That's why consistency beats intensity. A person working one focused hour every single day for 2 years will destroy someone who works randomly when motivation appears. Small actions repeated daily create escape velocity. Part 4. Your boss is not the problem. This part might hurt. Your boss is probably not the biggest problem in your life. Dependence is. Because even if you quit today, another bad boss could replace them tomorrow. That's why freedom is a skill problem. If your income depends entirely on permission, you are trapped. The solution is building value the market respects. Learn a skill people pay for. Writing, editing, sales, design, marketing, coding, content creation, consulting. The specific skill matters less than one thing. Can it generate income independently? That's the question. Because once you can create money without asking permission, everything changes psychologically. You stop feeling helpless, you stop tolerating disrespect, you stop begging for opportunities. And the crazy part, the internet has made this easier than any time in human history. A person with a phone and discipline can build an entire business now. But most people stay distracted, scrolling, complaining, watching other people win. Meanwhile, disciplined people are quietly building futures nobody sees yet. That's why discipline matters more than talent. Talent without consistency disappears. Discipline compounds. Part 5. Build before you announce. One of the biggest mistakes people make is talking too early. They announce goals before building proof. They say, I'm starting a business. I'm becoming financially free. I'm quitting my job soon. But words create fake progress. Talking feels productive. It isn't. Silent progress is more powerful. Build quietly. Let results speak later. Because when people see no evidence, they doubt you. And doubt is dangerous when you're already uncertain internally. Protect your energy early. Not everyone deserves access to your vision. Some people unconsciously want you to stay small because your growth reminds them of their own fear. So stop seeking validation. Most successful people were misunderstood at first. That's normal. When you build differently, average people won't understand the process. Ignore that. Focus on momentum, one client, one skill, one extra income stream, one improvement at a time. Tiny wins create confidence. Confidence creates action. And action changes lives. Part 6. The 6-month escape plan. If you hate your job right now, here's what you do. For the next 6 months, your life has one mission. Build leverage. That means reduce unnecessary spending. Learn one valuable skill deeply. Create income outside your job. Save aggressively and stop wasting time proving yourself to people who don't care. Every extra dollar becomes freedom fuel. Every new skill becomes insurance. And every disciplined day moves you closer to escape. You do not need perfection. You need progress. Most people overestimate what they can do in 1 week and underestimate what they can do in 1 year. A single year of focused effort can completely change your life. 1 year. That's it. 1 year of discipline can separate you from years of suffering. But most people never commit long enough to see transformation. They quit too early. Remember this, the hardest phase of success is when nothing looks like it's working. That's where most people stop. But that invisible phase matters most. Roots grow underground before trees appear above the surface. Your progress may be invisible right now, but invisible does not mean ineffective. Keep building. Part 7. Stop waiting to feel ready. You will never feel fully ready. Nobody does. People think confident people feel no fear. Wrong. Confident people act despite fear. That's the difference. Waiting until you feel fearless is a trap. Fear disappears through action, not thinking. Action. Your first video will feel awkward. Your first sale will feel uncertain. Your first attempt will feel messy. Good. That means you started. Beginners always want certainty before movement. Winners move before certainty because action creates clarity. You do not need the entire roadmap today. You only need the next step. And the next step is usually smaller than you think. Maybe tonight you research a skill. Maybe tomorrow you post your first piece of content. Maybe next week you start freelancing. Small beginnings become massive outcomes over time, but only if you continue. Consistency is the secret nobody wants to hear because it sounds boring. Yet boring consistency creates extraordinary lives. Part 8. Freedom changes your personality. Something strange happens when you stop depending emotionally on your job. You become calmer, stronger, more confident. Why? Because fear no longer controls every decision. People can sense this energy immediately. You stop begging for approval. You stop over-explaining yourself. You stop shrinking your personality to stay accepted. Freedom changes the way you speak because confidence grows naturally when you know you can survive independently. This is why building a launchpad matters psychologically, not just financially. It restores self-respect. A terrible job slowly destroys identity. You begin seeing yourself as replaceable. But when you create something of your own, even something small, you reconnect with your power. That power matters because deep down, most people are not tired from work. They are tired from feeling trapped. Part 9. The real goal. The real goal is not becoming rich online. The real goal is owning your time because time is life. And when another person controls all your time, they control your life. Think carefully about that. Most people sacrifice decades for weekends they're too exhausted to enjoy. That's not living. That's surviving. A launchpad gives you options. And options create freedom. Maybe you still work hard, but now you choose your direction. You choose your clients, your schedule, your future. That choice changes everything emotionally because humans are not designed to live without autonomy. That's why so many people feel empty despite earning decent money. Money without control still feels like a prison. Freedom is different. Freedom feels alive. Ending, final motivation. One day, you will either thank yourself for starting now or regret waiting another year. That choice is happening today, not next month, not next year, today. You do not need permission to build a better future. You do not need perfect conditions. You do not need everyone to believe in you. You only need a decision, a real decision, the kind where you stop romanticizing escape and start building it quietly, patiently, relentlessly. Because one day, the job that once controlled your entire life will become nothing more than a chapter you survived. And the best part, your boss will never understand how dangerous you became while they thought you were just another employee. Ending line, stop working for a boss you hate. Start building a future they can't control.